it is the top of the hour, and here we begin our lightning talks. Mauricio is first on board. I do want to say that what will happen is I will give you folks 5 minutes, and then when you see my face flash on the screen, that means you have I'll give you 5 minutes. Did I say seconds? I'll give you 5 minutes, but when you see my face, that means you have 10 seconds left in your lightning talk. So that'll be the indication that your lightning talk is starting to die down. So without further ado, I'm going to let Mauricio in. There you go.
Hello.
Hello. We can hear you.
Yeah, I am going to share my screen. So.
Okay. You just hit the little TV. There you go. And I'm going to go off the air.
Okay. Well, what I wanted to show today is how to use the Drupal Composer template project, even just like Drupal core by itself, to be able to get a quick Drupal installation using the quick start command. So for the sake of brevity, I will be doing, like I prepare something in advance, but basically you can download like Drupal.zip file or a tar file, put it in your computer, and you have one command that you execute this command. I'm going to paste all the commands that we will be using so everybody has access to that. And basically it gets you a Drupal installation just by getting the zip or tar file that you can start working with. So this is something that I wish existed way back in the day. In this particular case, I had already installed the site, but one of the very nice things about this way of doing things is that you can blow up and start from scratch every time that you need it. For example, if I want to blow up everything, I just again execute a couple of commands. I can try to install again. This is going to install SQLite as a database server and use the PHP built-in web server to get your Drupal site up and running. This time I'm doing something different. I'm installing the standard installation profile, and if I refresh, I get a basic Drupal site. And if I blow up everything again, I can install the Umami demo. So this can be used for testing your, a module, a theme, without having to install Apache or MySQL or anything like that. For example, I am installing Drupal 9 on macOS Catalina, and PHP 7.3 is already available. SQLite 3.26 is already available. So basically, without having to install any external tool, I just like download Drupal and execute this command, and I have my Drupal installation. The one limitation that if you do it like this is that you don't have by default Drush, so you might have to manage that with Composer. But like literally, this is just like downloading a couple of commands. Downloading the file, and you have like a full Drupal site working. The one thing is that from time to time, this is not supposed to be used for real development. So that the server will crash, and you need to restart it. So there is another command for that, and then you get it working like that. The other alternative is installing Drupal with Composer. This will allow you, for example, to have Drush and other modules that might be required. Again, like most of the things are already available, you only need to execute a couple of commands to install Composer. And in this case, again, like I have everything already installed, but basically by just like running a couple of commands, I actually am going to paste the link to all the commands that I executed, but by this one much much better in my mind when I was practicing. Um, so live demos. So for the record, I'm going to paste this in a moment, but these are all the commands that I was manually executing to install Drupal with Composer, to install Umami, if you want to blow everything again, if how to inspect even the database if you ever have to do that. Um, so yeah, I guess something is wrong there. Um, Well, but I guess like long story short, what I wanted to show is that sometimes you want to just like test a module very quickly, and with this approach, you don't have to install, a Drupal VM or a Docker-based solution or MySQL or Apache or anything like that. It's mostly like tools that might come available in your system. And you can even connect to the database, given that you are in the right directory. And you can like inspect, with all the commands that are available for MySQL. You can check what tables are available. You can issue like SQL commands. Oh, of course, let's see. You can see like the content to have like a better formatting. You can pass some flags to the SQLite interpreter. Um, you will have a kind of better representation. Well, I guess that's what happens when you're doing a live demo. Uh, but basically, what you can do is like I have used this approach to work on migrations. So I will be like literally teaching a whole course about migrations using just like this approach. So that saves me time trying to get everyone up and running with the local development environment because every computer is different. So I wish I would not be the first one to present, so I could prepare better, but I guess that's it.
Perfect timing, Mauricio. Thank you. We need April's sound effects, don't we?
Thank
Okay,
you.
next in line, Michael. You'll have to guess which one. You just accept the changes there, Michael. Kinyan Jui, it's you. You're up. Okay, next one in line, Mike Anello.
What happened to the other Michael? That's sad.
I don't know. I waited, and
In chat.
you snooze,
Oh,
you
man,
lose.
you are cruel so fast.
Got to keep it going.
So I'm gonna do it here. I gotta share my screen. Do this one right here. So I'm gonna do some demos of Composer 2, strictly just for performance. So I have a feeling my results are going to be skewed a little bit because now that I'm sending video, so it's compressing video. So part of my horsepower in my machine is going towards the video, but doesn't matter. All right, so I have updated to the alpha 2 of Composer 2, which is purely focused on, not purely, I shouldn't say, heavily focused on performance, reducing memory footprint as well as performance. So what I've done is I've started this little document, and I ran Composer create project, Drupal recommended project on Composer 1.10.8, and on my machine that took 24 seconds. Then I required an older version of Path Audio, and that took almost 30 seconds. And then I updated that version of Path Auto, and that took 27 seconds, all on the current release version of Composer. So I'm going to redo all those things, but using Composer 2. So let me copy this command, and I'll come over here, and I'm going to do a time, and that will actually allow me to use the timer, and I'm going to call this project speed, and here we go. All right, so it's quite a bit faster. That's the spoiler alert. I have a feeling this is going to make a lot of people happy, because this made me really happy when I first started playing with this. But let's see. There we go. So 16 seconds. I've gotten it as low as 9.8 seconds on this machine. So I think the difference might be a little bit the whole video compression thing, but that's pretty good. So let's go into there. So 16.2 seconds. So let me write that one down. 16.2 seconds. All right, so now let's require a slightly older version of Path Auto. So I'm going to time that again. And let's go. Oops, I hit it. There we go. That was pretty quick, 5.6 seconds. So let's add that one, 5.6. So you can see that is a difference of, what is that, 5-fold? It was 30 seconds, it's down to 5.6 seconds. So now, before I do this next one, I need to pico my composer.json file, and let me just get rid of modify this, just so I can get the update. Put my little caret in there, save, and just in the interest of time, let me copy this. And let's do a time on that. Do, 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 do. 16, so this, I've gotten this down below 10 seconds before, but 16, we'll call it 16.1 seconds. So even with the penalty for sharing, 2 streams of video from my machine at the same time, you can see it's some pretty impressive speed improvements between Composer 1 and Composer 2, and the memory footprint is a lot less as well. If you want to try this at home, it's actually really, really easy. You can do a self-update -- preview. So if you do Composer self-update -- preview, that will get you up to the latest, 2.0. Right now we're on Alpha 2. And then when you're done with it, you just roll back, as I'm about to do. And now I'm back on 1.10.8. So it's super easy to test out Composer 2. It's still an alpha, so the basic commands work. I had trouble with, and plugins are going to need to be updated a little bit as well. But just this fast, you can toggle between the alpha and the current release version. So that's it. I think I have extra time that I'd like to grant to, let's say, Michael K. for a photo slideshow, of random pictures from his photo library.
This can happen. Thanks, Mike. Next up is Hussein. I'm going to give you permission to drive and take it away.
Hey, hi everyone. So today I wanted to talk about AXL template, and I'm wondering, how do I share my screen? Okay, I found it. All right, so I'm assuming you're seeing my screen. Now, I wanted to talk about this little template tool. I love automation, so I've been working on this template tool for some time. It's opinionated, but it's open, and I would welcome feedback if any of you have it. I would love contributions. You're welcome to contribute. The only thing is it's not PHP. It's written in Python because I wanted to learn Python. But I'm just going to quickly walk over the demo and talk a bit more about it while Composer runs. So the idea is that it's a set of scaffolding tools, and it lets you quickly start a Drupal project along with Lando pre-configured. And if you want to use it, you get it. You need pip installed. That's a Python package manager similar to Composer, and chances are that you have it. Otherwise it's quick to install. And you would run this command to install. I already have it. It's already up to date, so I can just straight away go and run the command. And I'm just going to. So there is a you get to see all the options. You can run it with --help. Like most commands. I know what options I want, so I'm just going to run it with something like this, dtest. And I want to say that I can select between Drupal/core or Drupal/core recommended and core version. So let me select 9.0 so that I can install Drupal 9. And I don't want a cache. I'm just going to install this with Lando support. Oh yeah, so this is helpful. So until we see Composer 2.0, we need more memory. So I need to run it with this memory limit increased. I could have set this in the tool, but I didn't really want to overstep the scope of the tool. So it's pretty simple. If you're using Bash, you would run it with like Composer memory limit is equal to -1, and then the rest of the command. I'm using an alternate shell called fish, similar to ZSH, and that requires this env keyword. That's the only difference. So env Composer memory limit is equal to -1, which means that Composer can use unlimited amount of memory. It needs it right now. And yeah, so what this has done is it has created a directory called dtest and created a Composer. Let me open it in another tab while that runs. So this is currently installing the entire Composer setup. So I'll just look at the composer.json in another directory over here. Yeah, so like you can see axl/test, that's the name I gave. And it has selected Drupal/core 9.0 with core Composer scaffold with Drush. It also packages something called php.env in case your hosting needs it. So this php.env was part of the earlier Composer template. So I just decided to continue with it, for which you will see load.environment.php as well. If you don't need it, you can, of course, feel free to remove it. And like I said, this is highly opinionated. So we also have, there is this DB Docker, which I spoke about briefly yesterday in that unconference. Again, you don't need it. You can remove it. There is another thing called Drupal Quality Checker, which is which is basically a fork of Vijay CS85's. How am I doing? Okay, so now since this is done, I just need to run Lando start, and I would have a site running at test.lndo.site. So it picks up test because the command I ran was axl/test, as in the name of the project was axl/test. So it has picked up test as the site name. So while Lando boots up, let me talk about like future plans of this. So right now it only supports scaffolding of a simple Drupal site, and like a very basic thing, like do you want caching enabled, like Redis or memcache with that. So by the way, if I had specified Redis, it would have configured Lando with Redis. It would have installed this Redis module. It would have also created the settings.php required to load Redis. Same for memcache. Same for the environment variables. I think Lando start is done. And anyway, so I'm thinking, like working with this more and more, I'm realizing that, okay, you probably can't remember all the options in one go. And it's not like a command you would use often and you would remember the command options. So I'm thinking that, okay, should we open it for options? Like should it prompt for options? I think I'm probably going to do that. Also, specifying the modules so that as soon as init Drupal is done, it'll also auto add modules. Also install site, like basically run Drush SI. Anyway, so I'm not keeping a track of time. So I don't know if I have time. If it's up, it's up. But like the site is installed, and I can go to test.lndo.site, and it'll present me with an installation screen as soon as Docker gives it space. Yeah.
Did it come up?
It would. I mean, it just takes, the first boot takes some time. Yeah, but like you can see, it's installable, and because so everything is configured. I don't need to add some special settings.php. So it will not ask me for database details over here. It's straight away going to ask me the profile and install the site. That's it. It's because of the screen recording and everything, it goes a little slower than usual, but yeah, it happens. Alternatively, I could have just done Lando Drush SI. I don't need to specify database access details because all of that is configured by the template. I can quickly, if there is time, you can see that there are files like settings.lando and settings.env which get included, and that sets up the database details based on similar to Lando. Similarly, env has similar thing. It's like if Redis was configured, it would have loaded Redis specific settings as well. Lando, it loaded conditionally. So if I specified -- cache Redis, it would have included that in settings.lando as well. So all of that works, and as you can see, the site is being installed. This takes time. I'm guessing it will take a few more minutes, which I might not have. Yeah, this is what I wanted to walk through. I'll put in the link in the chat later. If you want to try it out, it's open source. It's just opinionated. That's the only thing. And the things that you don't want to use, you can always remove it. But yeah, please, any feedback on this, just create an issue or just reach out to me on Twitter.
Great. Thanks, Hussein. And I'll see you at SF Doug really soon. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Aren't you presenting at SF Doug? Pretty soon? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll see you there.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
I should click leave, right?
Right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, next up is Doug Vann. Doug Vann is in the house.
Okay, here's my screen. I got to tilt my Mac over here for a second. I got to pick one of these.
We see your chest, buddy.
There we go. Yes, that's too much of it. Okay, so starting off with a couple random shots from my photo gallery. Somebody had that idea earlier. I thought I heard, so I thought, hey, I'll do that for a couple seconds. Then I want to have a little Drupal thing at the end. There was an online rave about a month and a half ago, and I was glued, man. I was totally glued. I'm an old raver from the 90s, man. Love it. So it was just constant awesomeness, streaming 24/7. I was in heaven. That's somebody else's project, yeah. My son made a big mess in the garage. Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. I'm scrolling through one thing. Here we go. This photo. This is, again, random things from Doug Vann. I'll tip this back up. There we go. I'm into Onion Omega integrated circuit boards. Has a built-in chip that has built-in Wi-Fi and a complete Linux operating system. And I wrote some code, a shell script actually to do some of the stuff, check the weather, and print it out on a LED board there, USB powered. So Onion Omega, if you're into that kind of stuff. Whoa. And my son bought a convertible for $1,500, a Mazda Miata 95. So his name is also Doug. So this is a pair of Dougs in a convertible driving around our city here. That was a fun time. Okay, everybody knows Wes. Wes from Lullabot. This is Drupal Camp, Florida, isn't it? Yeah, this was a good time, man. This is the after party there. Turns out I met Wes. I'd forgotten this, but he told me that I taught a class he was at when he worked for Highlights Magazine for Children. I went up there in 2011, and he was an employee there, and I was asked to teach some stuff. And that's where we met, I think. That's what he said. Of course, oh, my word. Why am I drawing a blank? Was with us as well. My wife, I took her with me to San Francisco. Actually, she took me. She's a Salesforce, certified Salesforce developer. So she had to go to Salesforce Tower for a couple days. And we went out there together. And I finally took that boat tour over on the ocean there and went outside the bridge and came back. So more random stuff from Doug Vann here. We had a hotel. We kind of took 3 different hotels. We kind of made a little tour around the city. This was like way high up on some hotel in the Market District. And wow, it was a fantastic view. This is inside Pantheon's offices. My buddy Tim Wooten, met him at Drupal Camp Atlanta 2009, July. And he ends up moving out to the Philippines. His wife teaches English as a second language. But that's been a friendship that's paid dividends as well. We've done a lot of good work together. So I was hanging out there while I was in San Francisco. Here, my wife and I again. One looking beautiful, one looking like it needs to be photoshopped out. Photoshopped me out. My son loves Ron Pope, so we traveled to Nashville on one occasion and Chicago for another to go see him live just before COVID took over everything. My 4 kids, Mike Anello knows this guy here. Avery Vann went through the Drupal Career Online just recently. My daughter, Chloe, daughter Alexa, and my son, Douglas Tyler, looking all gangsta. What's he doing that for? I don't know. But he does. My dog, one of 2 of my dogs. This is Millie. Boy, she's a handful. Who's into Postmodern Jukebox? Anybody? I've seen Postmodern Jukebox live so many times. They are just fantastic. Yes, that is Robin, one of the originals. And the one gal that always does tap dancing. I love that so much. Here she is doing some more tap. Crazy stuff. We have a burn pit in the backyard, and the wind has been blowing down lots and lots of leaves. So, or not leaves, but tree limbs and tree pieces. So we've been burning some pretty big piles there. More random things about Doug Vann. Another shot of the fire. Yes, I was watching the launch of the Crew Dragon, SpaceX, manned mission leaving the U.S. soil to the space station. First one in 9 years. I was really excited about that. So I was glued to that. Give me a hey in the chat if you were all glued to that as well. I paid 99 cents a gallon because of my Kroger points I racked up at one point. This is that EDC Rave-a-thon going on as well. How's my time looking, Amy June? It's a mystery, okay. I wanted to point out that there is a way to access Drupal 9 on Pantheon, Pantheon early release. Drupal 9, how to check out Drupal 9. So yes, I encourage you all to go check out Drupal 9 on Pantheon. It actually uses Composer this time, so all you have to do is push the Composer file, it'll build it for you. So once you create the site and follow these instructions, you pull the code down, do your Composer require, and have all of the things you want there, Composer require, Drupal / whatever, and then it'll change your Composer file. You push both Composer files, the lock and the JSON, and Pantheon does the build. That's it for Doug Vann.
Perfect timing.
Woohoo!
Thank you, Doug.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Cool.
Good job. I can hear quality.
There's some screaming. I'm working on a situation. I might go in the middle. Anyway, but I'm going to go fast. So this is a talk I did for the first time. Okay. I'm going to talk really fast. Ignore the screaming in the background. I did this talk for the first time like 4 years ago, and it's been going great so far. So I fill out my own SodaStream bottles, and it's pretty fun. You shouldn't do this unless you want to like void licenses and stuff. Yes. So if you want to fill up your SodaStream bottles, you can if you have the right ones. The one with the little tiny button nub thing is refillable. The one on the right is DRM SodaStream. They're like randomly selected, and you might get one or the other. As far as I can tell, this is still true. She's okay, for real. Over recording this, awesome. All right. Anyway, here's what you need to get. You get a 25-pound CO2 tank with a dip tube at a soda store.
Bobby, this is the best talk ever, so just keep it up.
I'm gonna keep going. Go to a soda store, get a dip tube, and and then get one of these things. It's a fill station that you hook up. It's about $60. So you do this stuff and you put your soda stream on and you can fill it up and it's awesome. So why would you do this? For about $260, you get all the stuff you need. And that works out to about 17 fills from one 20-pound tank. Doing it yourself, it's about $8 an ounce or 8 cents an ounce, whereas retail is about $1.03. So it's pretty awesome. Yeah, so buy this. Fill up your own soda streams. It's pretty great. Thanks, bye.
Thanks, Avi. Best lightning talk ever. Okay. Mark, I see you back in the queue. Let's try this again. Are you talking? I don't think we hear you. You can mime it. Hey, April.
Hello. Give them a sec to see if it works.
I suggest miming, but you know.
Interpretive dance. He gets 10 seconds to get this working. And if he gets it working in 10 seconds, then he gets his 10 second, or his 5 minutes. 5 minutes and 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying.
Oh, he's going to write it out. Nice. A couple days. We will, and I heard tickets are only $10. Is that right, Mark? Yeah, so very affordable this year. You don't have to go all the way to wherever the bum junk it was, New York.
Is it also in Hoppin?
Nice. Hey, bum junk. You got to keep this clean for the video for longevity, you know? Okay. Well, I'm going to let April take it away and go to Decouple Days next week. No, 2 weeks. July 22nd? Okay.